camera. It's Friday and today I have for you everything you need to know to make your own press-ons. I have made notes, okay? I've got everything that you're gonna want basics-wise, like all the basics you're gonna need, and then I've also put together a bunch of the extras that you would probably want to just start accumulating over time if you want to make like different, more unique press-ons. I also have tips and tricks. I've got things about social media, website, all of it. I've had you guys ask me questions on Instagram, so I have all of those I'm going to answer. There's going to be lots of chapters to this video, and I hope that I get all of your questions answered and you're more comfy making these bad boys. So welcome if you are new and welcome back if you are not. If all of that sounds good to you, then you should probably grab a drink, grab a snack, get comfy, because we're going to talk about a lot of fun shit. Hi guys, how are you? Good, I hope. I'm gonna get right on into it because I feel like this video might be a long one. I just felt like when I was thinking about what to do for this week's video, I was like, you know what? I think I need to like reel it back a little bit and go over everything about press-ons, because I will get like questions here and there in my videos about press-ons, about certain things, and I think it'll be really good for you guys to have a video to just refer back to that hopefully answers all of your questions. If I don't answer something, ask me. Ask me in the comments, and I will try my best to answer. But I've been doing this for about 5 years now. I have started out making, some might say, like, not the cutest nails in the world. We all start somewhere. In the beginning, if you're making, like, crazy cool press-ons, then you are way ahead of the game, girlfriend. Mine in the beginning, here's some of them. Now, again, I don't think they're ugly. I think that they're cute, you know? They've gotten quite a bit better over time, so you just, number one thing, practice. Practice, 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 and practice some more. I have literally, like I just said, I started doing this like 5 years ago, and I've been doing it that whole time. I haven't like stopped for a few months. I've been working at it this whole time. So just practice. That's with anything. The more you do it, the better you get, you know, typically. Okay, so to start out with, I'm going to flip you guys upside down and show you like all the products, all the basic products, my tips and tricks and things like that. I will literally show you. But before that, I just want to go over one thing, and that is sizing, because I feel like that's like a number one question that I get is, how do you know what people's sizes are when you can't physically size them yourself? And that is an awesome question. The one answer I'm going to give you, sizing kits. Ignore any other way that you've heard. Just do sizing kits. The dime method, just all of that stuff. Don't even worry about it. I'm not even going to try to explain what it is, because you just don't need to worry about it. Just do sizing kits. Now, for a sizing kit, you're typically, if you're going to be selling press-ons, you're going to have a website. On your website, have a sizing kit as an option to purchase on there, and you're going to want your sizing kits in all shapes and sizes that you're offering. So if you are offering all shapes and sizes, long, stiletto, coffin, almond, through extra short, through extra long, you're going to want sizing kits in all of those options, because even with, so typically I will say to use a Prey for your press-ons, because I use a lot of other nails while I'm filming and things like that, because I love like the Korean nails and stuff. But if I am selling press-ons, which I used to on my website, I'm using a Prey, because that is the one brand that I have found that most of their nails are pretty even when it comes to sizing. There's other brands that are like so far off, it's insane. Like you'll get a long square where my thumb is a 3, my pointer is a 6, so on and so on. And then in their short square, my thumb is a 1. Like it's too difficult. You want a brand where their sizes are as close as they can be. I will say like The Apres stilettos run a little bit small, but other than that, these are all just things that you need to know, okay? So do a sizing kit for every single one. So if the person is like, I know I'm gonna want these nails in an XL square, then that's the sizing kit they're gonna wanna buy. You will mail it out to them. You will have a little card that's pre-made that you stick all of the 0 through 11, whatever the sizes are, on that card. I would also take a Sharpie and I would label all of the numbers on the front of all of the nails so they don't have to worry about maybe like seeing the wrong number, whatever. The numbers are all clear, we know. They're all tiny on the bottom or top of the nail. So just label them so it's very like, you just want them to be able to see it, okay? You want them to see like, oh, I'm a 1, I'm a 2, whatever. Label them all. And then on my sizing kits and a lot of people's, they'll put like left hand, right hand, thumb, pointer, middle, so on. Have them fill out the card, take a picture of it, and either email it, DM you, whatever you want them to do, and that's it. And then some people don't do this, but I would keep a log of people's sizes for them. So next time, if they know they want the same XL square, they don't have to buy a sizing kit again. I have their nail sizes all in my laptop, in a log, whatever. Keep a log of people's sizes because you want repeat customers. So it's smart. Okay, let's flip you guys upside down and go over some products and some tips and tricks, and then we will get into answering all your questions. All right, first things first, nails. Now, not all nails are created equal. You want gel nails, so they should say soft gel nails. Do not get the plastic ones. The plastic ones are flimsy, they will bend, they will break, they will create white lines if you bend them at all, and most importantly, they are not reusable, which is a huge plus when it comes to selling your press-ons, that you can reuse them if they are made of gel. So like these nails are made from gel. I can reuse them, I can soak them in warm water with Dawn dish soap and a little oil. You soak them, and then you pop them off, and you save them for later. You can reuse them and reuse them and reuse them if you take care of them. That is a huge plus. So gel nails. Now for a business, I highly recommend Apres because like I mentioned, their sizes are very similar when it comes to their different shapes. So like their square versus their stiletto, very close. Their stiletto nails are the only ones that I think run like a size smaller, but these are things that you would want to know so that when you send somebody a sizing kit, if they bought a square set and then they want a stiletto set, I don't need to send them another sizing kit. I know that all of these run one size smaller, so I can just make them that way. I don't need to keep sending sizing kits because I'm going to keep track of their sizes in a log. So I like Apres. They're the closest nails I found as far as sizing goes to each other. Every other brand are all wonky and so far off. I love Korean nails, but they don't make, like Diami mainly has stiletto, almond. They do have like a square, but it's more of a coffin, and that's about it. As far as having like all the shapes, all the lengths, Apres, okay? They're the best. All right, you're gonna need alcohol, lint-free wipes, and most importantly, gloves. You guys, if you develop a gel allergy, you're not just allergic to gel polish. There is so many things that have those ingredients in it, things at the hospital, that you would now be allergic to. It's a whole mess, so wear gloves. Do not get gel on your precious skin. Okay, when it comes to alcohol, I don't even have acetone anywhere near me. I don't use acetone. It's not even on my desk. I use alcohol for so many different things. Wiping the inhibition layer, cleaning my brushes in between colors, all kinds of stuff. Just get yourself a ton of alcohol, one of these little squisher downers, and just keep it on your desk. You use it all the time. Lint-free wipes. You do not want, these are the bougie ones. They're jello, but you know. You do not want wipes that leave little linties all over your precious nails, or you're gonna go out of your mind. So just get wipes that are literally labeled lint-free. They will typically look like this. They will be kind of like thicker, and they won't have little fuzzies on them, okay? No fuzzies. You don't want fuzzies. All right, you are going to absolutely need a nail stand. Whether it's from me or one of those cheapo, janky ones from Amazon or somewhere else, you're gonna need a nail stand. You have to have something that you can put all of your nails on and paint them and design them and cure them and all those things. You have to have it. So whether you get one of those little cheap little crappy ones on Amazon or wherever, I hate those. That was literally the reason I started designing these in the first place, was I hated those. The magnetic ones, the things just fell off all the time. You bump it, you breathe on it wrong, and they fall off. So I started designing my own. I wouldn't even use the magnetic ones because they were so bad. I would use the little like one-piece plastic ones, which just made things more difficult. So a nail stand. You will also want, oh, I have a nail on it. You will also want a stand if you plan on using cat eyes, a non-magnetic type nail stand. Like I have these single shakers. I have full-size ones as well, but ones that don't have a magnet in it because the magnets screw with the cat eyes. So nail stands. Have to have them if you're making press-ons. Have to. All right, this is a product that I choose to use. I use this, I do see some people prepping their actual nails with this, like the top of their nails instead of buffing. You can do that. I prefer to buff. We'll get into that though. I use this to prep the underside of the nails for my customers so they don't have to prep them themselves. And most people don't know that you need to prep the underside of your nails just like you would if you're applying them Gel-X. It's the same thing. Your nails are gonna last longer if the underside is etched. So your nails are gonna come nice and smooth and shiny. The underside, if it stays shiny like that and you go to put it on with the glue, it's gonna end up popping off because it's not gonna be able to grip the underside of that nail. This chemically etches it. So it's a chemical etch instead of a physical etch with an e-file. Like you can use a sanding band, a little skinny sanding band with an e-file and etch the underside of the nail if you want. These bottles last absolutely forever. I'm still on my first one. I've had it for so long. So you just take this and you scrub the underside of your nail till about like right here. You don't have to do the whole thing. And just scrub it, and then when your clients get the nails, they're ready to go. They'll put them on and they will actually stay on. They're not going to pop off. A lot of people have that problem with press-ons. They put them on and they don't last. They pop off. They have to be really careful with them because they're just going to come off and then they're going to lose them and it's a whole thing. This will help with that so much. Just prep your nails. It takes an extra 20 seconds. Prep your nails. Thank me later. All right. Tools, files, buffers, dust swipers, all this stuff. You need tools, okay? Tweezers. So you need a file, you need a buffer. You're gonna always have to prep your nails before you start painting them. Some people don't do as much prep as I do. I spend a lot of time prepping my nails. You will see, look at your nails and tell me if your cuticles are rounded or square. I find that most people have rounded cuticles, so I always shape my cuticle because most nails, especially the thumbnails, the bigger the nail, the more square the cuticle. They're very squared off, so when you put them on, the nail comes to like here. And it looks like a press-on. So when you take care of that and you round off the cuticle, I take off quite a bit. I round off the cuticle. Sometimes I'll just like clip it with a nail file, just a tiny bit, and then just finish rounding real quick. It's gonna look like an actual, like you went to a salon, like a salon set. It looks like it's made for your nails rather than a big square. I can always clock it when somebody doesn't prep the nails first and they just slap them on. They're always square at the cuticle and it just doesn't look as nice. Having a rounded cuticle looks so much nicer and it just takes a little bit more time, but all of my nails, I round off that cuticle shape. All of them. I have to have a rounded cuticle. It makes all the difference. Like I think try doing it if you haven't done it before and let me know because you will notice the biggest difference of how your nails end up looking. It literally looks like you built up these nails with gel on your nails. You didn't use press-ons. It makes such a big difference. So I prep the cuticles. I always file off that little nubby thing that's always on the end of the nails. I file that off. If they're a square, a lot of the time I even taper in the square a little bit more. I just have a very customized shape that I prefer, that's totally up to you. I just always make sure they're shaped perfectly how I want them before I go in with any gel or anything. And then I always buff the top of the nail with a buffer. So just go over the nails and just buff them all before you put them on your nail stand. Like I said, some people use this to chemically etch the top because it does do the same thing. I just prefer how it looks and how my gel goes on when I actually buff it with a buffer. We buff the nails first because gel will adhere better to a buffed nail rather than if you put gel on a really shiny nail that hasn't been buffed yet. You will notice a lot of the time that the gel will separate and it won't stick in parts. It doesn't look as nice, and a lot of the time you will finish your design and the whole design will end up popping off because it's not adhering. It's not able to like suction down to the nail, whereas if it's nice and matte and etched, that gel polish and everything you're putting on, it can just like kind of sink into the nail and it adheres to the nail and becomes one with the nail. Now, you do not need a base coat when you're using gel nails. When you're using soft gel full cover nails as your press-ons, you don't need a base coat. You go right in with gel. Why is that? Because gel adheres to gel. If you were putting gel on plastic, that's a whole different story. But gel adheres to gel. So all you need to do is buff the top of that nail and then everything else is going to go on. So you do not need a base coat for press-ons. That's only for natural nails. All right, my little dust get rid of. You need a little dust brush. You're going to be buffing the nails. You're going to be filing the nails. You don't want dust on the nails when you go to paint them, so you always want to have a little brush to get rid of all of it. You might encapsulate in the middle, file more. You just need a brush to be able to get rid of all that gunk that's on the nails, because you don't want little bumpies all over, you know? All right, tweezers. Trust me, you're going to get hairs in your gel polish. It's going to happen. So tweezers, you want them handy. Then you can just... I use them literally every time. I always get a little hair in there somewhere, especially if you own cats. I don't even have cats here. They're at my house, but I take a little bit of them with me everywhere I go, apparently. All right, this is a little tool for charms and crystals. This is cheap. This is from like Temu. I think they're like, I don't know, $1 or something. But you literally twist and the little wax part comes out, and then you can use this to pick up all of your charms, your crystals, and adhere them to the nail. So you just pick them up and then you stick it where you want it and the charm comes off onto your nail. You need one of these if you're going to be doing any sort of crystal application, charm application, a little wax tool. I just love this one because you can take it off when it's not sticky anymore and raise up more. Super handy, super smart. A flashie. Now this one is not the cheapest of flashies because it is a diamond one, but the light is bright and it stays charged for a long time. I've ordered cheap ones off of Temu, Ali, and I get them and the light is so dull I could barely even tell if it was on. I'd always think that they were like not charged, and then I would charge it and the light would look the same. And then they would just break. So I recommend buying, just get one nicer one and you're going to thank me because it just works. You're going to put your little charms on. You can cure that in place, move on to the next. It makes your job faster instead of having to put all your nails in the light on your stand. Put it in the light, cure, like you have a little flashy so you can put a charm on, cure it. You know what I mean? You can use it to cure little things here and there instead of having to cure all of the nails at once in the light. This is a little tool if you plan on using chrome. It's a little silicone tool. I love this. It's reusable, so you can just get one and just reuse instead of eyeshadow applicators that you have to throw away after every color. You just dip it in the chrome, put it all over the nail, and it blends perfectly. I love these little silicone tools. So handy. Okay, you are also going to need a light. Mine has seen better days, but she's been with me since the beginning. I know they tell you need to replace your light every so often. You guys, I have had this for years. I'm gonna ride this baby till the wheels fall off. It doesn't work any less than it did when I first got it. It still cures everything completely. Like, it works amazing. So I just haven't found the need to get a new one yet, but there are some really nice ones on Amazon. I will link this one, and then I will link a really good option for a more affordable one with it. I always link everything in the info box, so it will all be there. I will give you an option. All right, top coats. There is different top coats. So you are going to want, if I could tell you to get one, I would suggest getting one that is like a medium viscosity so that you can use it for all of your designs. If you get one that's really thin, and just get a non-wipe. It's just, you might as well, a non-wipe medium viscosity top coat, which is what the Yogo Zombie Top Gel is. So it's a little bit thicker. And like I was saying, if you get a top coat that's a little bit on the thicker side, you can use it on all your designs, whether you have glitters on your nails, nail art. If you use a really thin top coat on top of nail art or glitters, you're gonna see little bumps and lumps, whether it's nail art or glitters or any of that. Nail art, because you're drawing, you know, with gel, it gets a little bit thicker where you're drawing. So if you don't have a thicker top coat, you're gonna see all of those marks when you're done. You're gonna see like little indents and stuff where your nail art is and isn't. If you get a thicker top coat, that fills it all in and just creates like a nice bloop layer over top of everything. So just get a thicker one. You can use it on simple designs or more intricate designs. This is a more affordable option of this one. We tried this in my last this or that, and this worked amazing. This is I think it's actually called Joy, somebody said, but I like calling it Joy, the Joy Builder Top Gel. So this is a non-wipe builder top gel. So same thing, it's nice and thick and non-wipe. And these are both very shiny, which is a must. You want a very shiny top coat. You want your nails to be shining. Okay, this is a thinner top coat, but if you are gonna be using chrome, get this top coat or get a top coat that is made for chrome. There is other ones. I've been using this one for years now. It's the Show Me, I think it's called the Mirror top coat. I have it linked in like the products I always use section in the info box because I use this every time I do chrome. But it's a thin non-wipe top coat. You don't want to use a thick non-wipe top coat when you're doing chrome because it will look lumpy and not as smooth. A thinner top coat lets the chrome lay nice and smooth over top. So this one is great for that. And then you want to have a matte top coat, whether somebody is going to want matte nails or you want to do chrome designs. So many things that you would need a matte top coat for, and this is the best matte top coat. I've been using it for years also. The Function of X ceramic matte top coat. There is other good matte top coats out there now, but I just love this one. This one, it stays matte. Some matte top coats are matte at first, and then you wash your hands, you do something, and they just get more satin looking. This one also, there's no streaks. A lot of matte top coats, you streak them or you paint them on and you see lines where you've painted. Like this one, it's the perfect matte. It's just a perfect layer of matte gel. I just love it. Okay, also, if you're gonna be doing any sort of, this is a very thick non-wipe, either overlay or top coat. If you are gonna be using more like chunky glitters or you're encapsulating things in the nails, or you just want a thicker top coat. I just love it. It's very shiny and it just creates the perfect barrier over top to protect your nail art and your nails. You can get a huge, this is the big container. This big container lasts so long. This is my Desert Island nail product. I use it all the time. It's so good. You can use it to seal charms, the edges around your charms. I love this stuff. I love it. Speaking of charms, this is the best charm glue on the market. It comes in a pair with this one. This is what you use to put on the charms. Anytime I'm putting on a medium or larger charm, I use this. It is very thick. You put a little blob on, you put the charm down, and that charm will not move ever again, even before you cure it. That's why I love it. I hate putting a charm down and then having to chase it all around the nail when it's on the stand and you're trying to put other charms down and you're having to like keep push it back up. Not this. You'll put the charm down and it stays in its spot. So it saves you time and headaches. And like I said, it also comes with this. This is the cover gel, and this is what you use to seal the charms and the crystals in. It is a non-wipe gel that you can take like a liner brush and you seal in all of the little cracks around that charm so that your hair doesn't get stuck in it and they don't get caught in something and pop off. Like this cross. When you put the cross on, there's going to be little gaps right here and right here where it's not meeting the nail. You just take a liner brush and you go all the way around that charm and just seal it in and fill in all of those gaps. And same with crystals. You just want to go around the edges of the crystals with a gel like that to completely encase them. Not on top because it'll take away the shine, but just all the way around the edges, because then it's not going to get caught in anything and pop off. Crystals have a tendency, and charms, of popping off the nail. If you seal them all the way around, not going to happen. I also encapsulate my charms. Like that bow, this cross, not the crystals, but all of the charms, I go over the whole thing with like a top coat like this, like a thicker top coat, non-wipe. Then they're absolutely not coming off, and they just look really nice. Like that bow, very shiny, and it's like one with the nail. And then especially if you're selling your press-ons, you know that everything is on here and they're not going to start popping off. Somebody's not going to be sending you a message like, girl, all my charms just fell off my nail. You don't want that. Okay, glue, charm glue, or I mean not charm glue, nail glue. There's different kinds of nail glue. For one, we are never using gel to adhere our press-ons, okay? We're not doing it. It doesn't cure properly. You can do it if you have nothing on the nails and they're clear, or just a straight up clear jelly, then the light can penetrate. The problem with using gel when you have nail art on your nails or opaque gels, charms, that light is not getting through the nail, and then that gel is under there uncured for weeks, days, however long, just like this. Freaking out, you know, and that's how you get gel allergies. The gel isn't cured and it's letting out fumes. It is, look up pictures of people that have done that and you will never want to do it, but just take my advice. Don't use gel. Use gel consistency air dry glues like these. So there is a girl on Instagram, Iki, who sells gel consistency air dry glue. She has different packaging now, but this is it. And then this one is from AliExpress, Nail Pop. These are the best for applying your press-ons because they're thicker and they're a gel consistency. So instead of like a really runny glue that's gonna most likely make a mess and get outside your nail, and it isn't gonna fill up any gap that might be in between your actual nail, your natural nail and the press-on. There's typically like just a slight gap, especially if you have flat nails. A gel consistency glue is thicker, so it's gonna build up a little bit more of your nail. It's amazing. So like, let me show you. They're not gonna run all over the place. These are the exact same consistency, so I'll just show you this one. But if I hold it like this, it's not gonna run down the page. So when you put on your nail, it's also going to be, it's not going to be sliding all over the place like it would be with a really liquid, watery glue. And these glues last longer. So a gel consistency air dry glue is the best, just not a gel product. Get me? Not a gel product that needs to be cured. A gel consistency glue. These are the best. They are awesome. While we're talking about that, I will show you an example of a kit that I would put in with my press-ons. Now you will notice the glue in here is a very liquidy glue. This is a Macart glue that you can get like huge packs of it on Amazon. My suggestion is you can include this in your nail kit, and then you can get something like these and make it available to purchase on your website so they can purchase that as an add-on. So they get this for free. If they want a gel consistency air dry glue that's thicker that will work a little bit better, then they can buy that with their set. You always want to include a mini buffer, a mini file, a cuticle pusher, and at least 2 alcohol pads, 1 for each hand, and glue. I would also suggest that you put application instructions and removal instructions in there, or email them to them, whichever one you want to do. But you want to make sure they're putting their nails on correctly so that they last. And also you want them to be able to remove their nails properly so that they can keep reusing their nails and they don't mess them up. There's a certain way to soak them off. It's easy, and then they can pop them off, put them away, and reuse their nails later, which is a huge thing with press-ons. That's a huge plus. All right, these little glue tabs is what I actually use for my press-on stands. When I'm putting nails on my little tip holders, I just put one of those little bad boys right here, and they hold the nail on so well. And you can reuse them multiple times before you have to replace it with a new one. These are the best that I've found. I think I got them on AliExpress, these little 3M ones. These work so good. I also use these in videos if I'm putting nails on that I just want to take right back off again. I will use these. I love these little glue tabs, but this is what I always use. I've been asked what do I use to put my nails on my stands. These. These. Okay, and then I think this is the last, nope, we got a couple more things for basics. So, a potted gel for nail art. I just recommend biting the bullet and just getting a whole palette. Like this Miss Pink Nail one is the best investment if you're going to be doing nail art. You get every color you could imagine. And the color that you don't have, you can mix and make yourself. Anytime I'm doing nail art, I pull out this palette. I don't use any other potted gels. I use these. They're opaque. The line work goes so hard. They're amazing. I have no complaints about this palette. Except for the packaging is a little bit like, can we get like one that clips shut or something? That'd be great. That'd be great. But the palette itself, love. Love, love, love. The only thing I would recommend besides this is getting a black and white potted gel that is non-wipe, because then you can use that with like chromes and things without having to top coat your nail art again. Like if you want to do like, I don't know, a star in chrome, silver chrome, then you can use that black non-wipe gel to paint that star on a matte nail, and then because then the chrome won't stick to the rest of the nail. And then instead of having to go over that star with a non-wipe gel that you would typically have to do for chrome, it's already non-wipe, so you can go ahead on with the chrome. I just recommend, if I'm getting a black and white potted gel, I'm going to get a non-wipe one. You can use them in so many different ways. So recommend getting a palette like this and then a black and white non-wipe gel. All right, brushes. Brushes. I have a lot of brushes. These are the ones that I would recommend for a basic starter outer that wants some nice brushes. So first off, this is the brush you see me use constantly. I've talked about it in damn near every video I've ever done a nail set in, the Dihami round flat number 17 brush. I use it for everything. I use it for overlays. I use it for encapsulating. I use it for cleanup. I use it for French tips. I use it for top coating. I use it to wash my car. I use it like everything. I love this brush. I love it. I have 2 of them because I use it all the time. If you want like one brush with many different uses, get this brush. It's also very high quality. The bristles are very smooth. You can paint gel on and there's no streaks. Like, it's amazing. Okay, let's see. This brush, the Cocoist Angular brush. The Cocoist brushes, period, amazing. It's like they condition them for hours before they send them out. The bristles are so smooth. You will not get a streak anywhere near your nail if you use this brush. I like using this. You can use this also for French tips, but I love using this also to clean up the French tip because it's just so smooth. Like if you know me, when I paint on a French tip, I just messily paint it on, okay? Get it all even. And then I use a brush like this to just clean up where I want the French tip to start. And you just swipe with alcohol, a little bit of alcohol, dab off on a paper towel, swipe. And then same on the other side, swipe. And a brush like this that is so smooth makes that so easy. If you use a brush that is really rough or has fray like hairs sticking out, it's gonna mess up your nice clean line because those hairs are gonna get in where you don't want it. It's gonna leave little marks. You need a nice smooth brush like this. So the Cocoist Angular brush, love. Speaking of Cocoist, liner brushes. Again, any Cocoas brush you're gonna love. They're just smooth and amazing. Your nail art is gonna look seamless. You do not want brush strokes anywhere near your nails, so it's important to get nicer brushes, because if you're using cheap, straggly brushes, you're gonna have to work 10 times harder, because you're gonna have streaks in your nails, you're gonna have marks where you don't want them. You need nice, smooth bristles. These liner brushes are just that. They're very smooth. You get a nice, clean line. I love these. Love these. And then also for nail art, so if I'm doing very detailed nail art that needs like a very tiny little brush, I will be always reaching for the Crisania brushes. Her liner brushes are the skinniest of all liner brushes that exist. Look at these. They are tiny. So anytime I need like super detailed work done, I am using these. Or like a really skinny line, these really are the skinniest, like I've said before. So skinny, you can't even see them sideways. Crisania brushes. Highly recommend. She really did it with these. Like, they are the skinniest. Typically, before she made these, you had to like clip the hairs down on other liner brushes to get them this skinny. Not these ones. Nay, nay. And then if you plan on using pigment powder at all, this is the best pigment brush, the Function of X Puff Pigment Brush. Looks like this. I've never seen another brush like it. It is so easy to get in that pigment powder and then just do, 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 do. It's perfect. I love this brush. Can I get it? Oh, I'm gonna ruin it. Get back in there. All right, that's it for the basics. Let's move along. All right, real quick, I just want to talk about prep, because I've mentioned this before in my nails, but I don't think I've ever showed you guys how I actually prep my nails before I even start painting on them. So first, so this is a stiletto. You can see the cuticle is very squared off. It's not rounded like the one that I have on right now. You can see if I put it on where that cuticle would be, it would be like this. And it just, that's not where my cuticle is, okay? So you want to round that off. And what I do is I just take my file and I just start going in like this at an angle. And this is on any shape. Square, stiletto, I always round off my cuticles. You can also use a clipper to just clip off a little bit of that corner and then finish with your file. It literally does not take long at all. And then you have a rounded, obviously you want to make both sides match, but I just want to show you. This side, nice and rounded, this side, square. So that's going to look so much better than this side, having that nice rounded cuticle. It makes it a custom nail, which if you want to be making like luxury quality nails, I highly suggest taking the time to shape and customize the actual nail before you even start on any nail art. It makes all of the difference, you guys. It really, 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 really does. So I will obviously do that to both sides. And then I always shape the tip. I take off that little straggly edge it always has down here at the tip. And I'll just sharpen it off. If it's a square, I will take my file and file like this at the end to get that nice and straight. And then I go in with my buffer and I will just buff the entire top of the nail. I will save you guys the sound. I promised you I would never do that. But I just go with my buffer and I just buff the entire top so it's nice and buffed. Sorry guys, sorry. So you just want the whole top to look like that, okay? The whole thing. I just don't want to do it on here because I hate that sound myself. So you just buff the entire top of the nail, and then this is the time where I go in with my apres prep liquid and I etch the underside of that nail. So I just take this, and again, you can use an e-file with a skinny little mandrel bit, but this is just faster and easier. You just take this and you just scrub back and forth where the nail would meet with the natural nail. You don't need to do the whole thing. So this just chemically etches it and makes it so the nail is going to actually adhere to the natural nail and not pop back off again. It will stay on the nail longer. So that's how I prep my nails before I even start working on them. And prepping your nails makes all of the difference in how your nails are going to turn out. I promise you. All right, here's some extras that you can start accumulating on the way if you want to make fun, artsy nails. So, say you already have your basic gels, your primary colors, your black, your white, and you want to start branching off into some funner collections. My suggestion is to start with things like this. So this is a opaque pastel collection. It doesn't necessarily have to be this collection, but I would suggest you can get a pastel collection so you can make some pretty pastel nails. I use these a lot. I love these kind of colors, so if you do too, pastels seem to be pretty popular. Syrups, jellies, same thing. See-through colors. I love this collection. You guys know I'm obsessed, but you get every color you could possibly imagine, and then you can mix them too. You could do, you know, blue and yellow and make a different green. You could mix around and make even more colors, but these, you could do so many different looks with these. There was just every color you could possibly imagine, and jellies are so popular. Like, I use jellies all the time. I love them. I love them. And then also you're gonna want some glitters, cat eyes. This happens to be both. This is a Divock White Night collection. Oh, did I even tell you what these were? This is the Yogurt Nail Chewing Gum. And then this is the Vala Cotton Pastel collection. Love. This is the Divock White Night collection. This one is actually cat eyes, but you can use these as toppers, glitters. There's so many different options, so you can obviously use them as cat eyes and get a cool cat eye design, or you can just clear the cat eye particles with your magnet completely and just have a pretty like glittery finish. You can use those glittery finishes as toppers. You can use the cat eyes as toppers. You can use it as the design. Like, I love things like this because you can do so many different things with them. Glitters, cat eyes, all of it. And they're very like iridescent and pretty. Love, 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 love. All right, next, 3D stuff. I grabbed all of my Crisania clays because she has like the perfect collection of collections. So she has a clear, and it's huge, a 15-gram pot of clear, and it's not just a clear. This stuff is like glass. It's like glass, and it is not sticky. So 3D clays are what you would want to use if you want to make your own charms, make cool 3D designs on your nails, things like that. Clear would be the first thing I would get because you can paint that. You can make whatever you want to make, and then you can paint a design on top. If you didn't want to have every color, you can use clear for everything. This is her basic clay collection, so it's a regular like clay type consistency. They're opaque, and you get all of these colors. So red, green, blue, yellow, brown, white, black, all of them. And they're like a regular, I'll show you the one. I'll show you the white. They are more of like an actual clay, where some are like shiny or bouncy. These are like an actual clay, so they're really fun to work with and not sticky at all. All of her clays are not sticky, which is so important. And I think that also comes in with the gloves that you use. These gloves are Framar hairdressing gloves, and I find that nothing really sticks to these unless I've been working with something for too long and it's really hot in here. I love these gloves. Cosmoprof, I don't know, they might have them on Amazon, but I love these gloves. I love them. So that is her classic collection. She also has jellies, which are so fun. I love jelly clays. So jelly clays are obviously see-through colored clays. So like the clay version of these. You can add glitter to them. You can add flake to them. You can do so many different things. Ugh, I love those. And then she also has a pastel collection. Obsessed with these. Like, look at this purple. Again, this is her like regular clay consistency clays. Ugh. So pretty. So all of these sets are amazing for doing 3D nail work, making your own charms. You are also going to want, if you're gonna start branching out into 3D work, the right tools. So she has a sculpting brush, which don't judge me. Mine are completely demolished and I need new ones. I found out recently that you shouldn't clean your 3D brushes with alcohol because they will do this. Look at that. You use water. I did not know that. And you can use water to actually shape the clay. So I need new ones. They come nice and tapered and smooth. I ruined it. But this is so, I use these brushes all the time. Every time I'm doing 3D work, I will use these to shape the clay and smooth out the clay. And then you will also want some sculpting tools. She has this whole set of little silicone tools. Again, if you're going to be using 3D clay, you need silicone tools that will do the job for you. All right, other 3D stuff is Embo gel. Embo gel is like in between a nail clay and a gel polish. It's thinner than a nail clay, but much thicker than a gel polish. It is also good for 3D nail work. So you can make, I tend to use Embo gel for smaller little charms and things like this. Like, look at that, they're so cute. But just little like 3D work. They're very easy to use. You can just stick like a little dotting tool, a brush, dip it in there, and then put it on your nail and shape it up. But yeah, they're definitely, you don't use these with your hands. The clay you use with gloved hands. These you use with a tool. So that's like the big difference. Now, Embo gel also comes in a different form. Try not to overwhelm you guys with too many options, but I just wanted to show you, you can also get Embo gel in a tube. So it's the exact same thing as these, but in a tube form. So like you can just take this, squeeze out a little blob, whatever you're making, and then use a brush to finish kind of like shaping it out and then cure it. They're really easy to use and they're fun, so. All right. What else do we have? We've got stickers. Oh, do I have a lot of stickers. Stickers you can do so much with stickers, and you can also do sets for a little bit cheaper if you wanted to, and instead of painting on the nail art, you can offer, hey, we can do stickers instead of hand-painted art, and that will bring your price down a little bit. So just so many different options. You can buy stickers after stickers after stickers on AliExpress. So many options. Like there's really cute ones on there. So that's just an option you can have for nail art. It's fun. And you want to encapsulate your stickers. You want to put the stickers on and encapsulate that in like a thicker gel so you don't see the lines of the stickers. All right. Crystals, charms. It is really good to have a variety of crystals to be able to use on your sets. Obviously you don't need this many right off the bat, but it is nice to have all different colors, clear ones, silver ones, colored ones, different shapes. You do not need this stuff right off the bat. It's just cool to kind of like start getting a little bit here and there. Before you know it, you'll look like me. Just a warning, just a warning. Okay, charms. Now, there's, of course, all different types of charms. You can buy charms by themselves, like a pack of a certain Hello Kitty charm, or you can get big things like this. These ones are way cheaper because you get a bunch of things for like a few bucks rather than buying separate ones, but there is an array of options out there. I have so many charms, it's ridiculous, but you can get little packs like this too. Charms are just awesome to have an add-on. Again, this is not a necessity, but to have little add-ons for certain designs, you can put charms on the nails. Everybody loves charms, and everybody really loves charms if the person that's making the nails knows how to seal them and they don't get stuck in the poor person's hair, then they really love charms. But these are all so cute. You can get some kawaii, Hello Kitty ones, bows, all different kinds. There's all different kinds. Flowers. Just search nail charms on Ali, Shein, wherever you want to look, and you'll probably hate me. You'll have boxes of charms coming in no time. All right, glitters. This is just an example of how I keep my glitters. I order a ton of glitters at a time because I make resin nail stands, but I do get like bigger things of glitter and then I decant it and put it in these to keep over here for my nails. So I'll just keep them all in these little containers so that I can grab whatever ones I want. And that's how I keep my glitters organized. So having glitters is just, I love, you guys know, encapsulating glitters in nails just looks so cute. And glitter is not expensive. You can go to Michael's and get glitter, but if you want like cool shapes, just look around online and find cool shapes. I think I got this one probably on Temu or something, and they're actually really cute. So glitter. Yes, yes, everybody loves glitter. Okay, speaking of 3D stuff, if you're not comfortable sculpting 3D charms or 3D things yet on your nails, don't fret. You can get molds. They have tons. These are all from AliExpress. They have Hello Kitty, My Melody, all these kawaii ones. I have tons of really cool molds from AliExpress that are so cheap, and they're amazing molds. So you can start out here while you're practicing sculpting, you know, and still get really cool designs. I use this one all the time. For stars, I refuse to sculpt a star by hand. It just, why? All the little points have to be the same. I want nothing to do with it. So I will just stick a little ball of my 3D clay in there, cure it on this side, cure it on that side, you're good to go. You have to have clear molds if you're using gel products in a mold, because if you use, say, an opaque green mold and you cure it, it might cure on this side, but it's not going to cure on this side, so the middle of the charm and the back of the charm is going to be completely uncured gel. So you have to have, just look for little clear molds. These are also, so you can obviously use like an embo gel, a gel polish, a clay in your molds. This is another option that is awesome. These are on AliExpress also. Hopefully they're still shipping here. But these are, it's resin, it's non-wipe, and it cures really fast. And again, it's not sticky at all. Like, these are amazing. So they come in these little bottles with the skinniest little tips. So you can really like get into these molds where you would typically have a hard time, like that little bow. I can literally put this in there, squeeze a little out, and it's in where it needs to be. Whereas like a lot of stuff, it's hard to get like detailed work. I found these like months ago, and there's like every color you could imagine. Black, clear, red, pink, purple, like love these. This is one of my favorite finds, I think, on AliExpress. Like it's genius. It's so cool. Okay, let's see, chrome. There is endless amounts of chrome, you guys, as you might already know, but like there's chrome palettes. This is from South Tex Nails. These are awesome because they're not messy and the chrome is amazing. So you literally just stick your little, where's my little silicone tool? You would just stick this in there and then go onto your non-wipe top coat on your nail, and you got a chrome nail. Now, if you do chrome on the nail, you have to buff the edges of the nail before you top coat. You want to get all of that chrome off of the edges, or it's going to peel and the chrome is going to come off. So any shape of nail you have, square, coffin, stiletto, after you're done with the chrome and before you top coat, take your buffer or your file and rebuff. Don't take off like all your gel polish or anything, just right on the edges of the nails and the tip. You don't want the chrome there because it completely will start chipping, and that is a big thing with chrome. You have to get it off the edges, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, there's palette, chrome and palettes. There's iridescent see-through colored chromes like these from Career. I love these. There's all different colors and they're not opaque. They're see-through, holographic, colored, like a topper chrome. So cool. And then this is more like a silver, opaque, holographic chrome. This is Clody. There's so many options, you guys. It's just these are a few that I pulled out to show you. So this one is just like a completely, it would turn the nail. You wouldn't see what's underneath it. It would be silver, holographic chrome. So cool. So they're cool for like French tips or anything, whatever you want to do with them. But bajillion options for chrome, a bajillion. Okay, and then these are pigment palettes. So these go perfectly with their pigment brush I showed you guys. But if you are wanting to do ombre nails and you don't want to splurge on, say, like that Baby Boomer set, which I highly recommend. I would just buy that, but I know it's not cheap. It's actually out of stock at the moment. But the pastel one's in stock, the Baby Boomer ombre gels. I did a video on them called The Easiest Ombre. You guys, we ombre'd a blue and an orange in seconds perfectly. Like, they literally ombre themselves. You can do auras. They're amazing, but they're like 160 bucks. I totally get it. But if you can swing it, get those. If not, this is your next best option, pigment palettes. You can also use eyeshadow palettes, but I've said this before, eyeshadows are made with binders like glycerin, moisturizing ingredients that keep that together because they're also meant for your eyes. So they don't dry out. These don't have that in them. They're literally made for your nails. So they're strictly pigments. So instead of like using an eyeshadow, sometimes you'll notice you'll get like almost a greasy mark or it's not blending properly. That's why. These are just pigments. So when you blend it out, it just blends. These are amazing pigment palettes. Bonnie B has some just like this that I recommend. Love, love, love. And then last, Flake. Flake is so fun. You can encapsulate it, you can mix it with jelly clays, you can mix it with clear gel, like whatever you want to do. Flake, this one's from AliExpress, it's by Boko. The most gorgeous flakes I have actually ever seen in my life. Highly recommend. Love, love, love. All right, we're going to move along to your questions and some more information. All right, guys, I hope that wasn't like too much information. I hope that was helpful. It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. Okay, now I just want to go over like all of your questions that you guys asked on Instagram. Like I said, I put up like a little poll for everybody to ask questions that they wanted to know. I also just wanted to go over real quick, and I think some of these questions were about that, but I wanted to cover a little bit about like social media, how do you get your nails out there, website, and things like that. So for my own, I know a lot of people start out on Etsy, which is actually probably smart. Because if you're on Etsy, you get kind of clumped together with other people that do nails and like things, right? So your stuff is going to get pushed out there. You're on a platform where people might run into your product rather than getting your own website on, say, Shopify. And that's just you. So you have to be like pushing your work out there and getting it out there or nobody is going to see it. So a lot of people start on Etsy. I have heard there's bad with the good. There's been, I don't know a whole lot about Etsy. I've just heard some bad things about them like controlling the time you have to ship and just refunding people without talking to you. So you get money taken out for things that you've sent. I don't know. I don't like that. That would stress me out. So I, right off the bat, got a website on Shopify and bought my own little website handle and all of that, which again is a slower process with selling because it is just your website. You're not on a platform. So when you do that, or when you start selling press-ons, period, the number one thing I will say to you is post your work. Post it, post it, post it. Do not be scared to post your work, you guys. People are out here eating cornstarch on TikTok, and they have millions of views, okay? So just remember that. You're doing cute nails. post it. All these huge brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all those places, they are posting shit all the time. You see it all the time. Nike, it's all over the place. They don't care. They are posting. Do that. Make people sick of seeing you. You just gotta, if you posted this morning, post again tomorrow. You have to post your work, whether you, even if you think like it might not be my favorite thing, somebody might like it, just post it. But I would recommend that you post, try to make it as quality content as possible. So like Instagram. The Instagram feed until very recently was all squares. Okay, now I think they've changed it to like 16:9 or something, so it's a little bit longer. You want your images. I'm not talking about reels. I'm talking about if you post a post on there of like a picture, you want it to match up with that so that on your screen, on your page, all of your little things line up, and it's not like I see somebody post, or some people post a reel, and it'll be a vertical video like you would do on Instagram. Well, it gets cut off, so it's like this little piece with black on the edge. And that on it just doesn't look, it doesn't look good. So I just don't watch it because I'm like, what are you doing? You know? Make sure that you are just taking a little bit of time to make sure that your stuff looks good, because that makes people want to watch it. If it's something that like, it looks like you didn't take any time on, and then it just, take time, learn, look around, look at other people's pages, see what's working for them, what they're doing, and just, you can kind of take inspo from all kinds of different people. And speaking of inspo, if you take inspo from somebody's set, and I don't mean, oh, I got this little idea from them and then I completely changed it. I mean, if you took inspo and made the set almost identical to them, give that person inspo, tag them, and give them inspo. For one, you might make a new friend, but if you don't do it, you might make a new enemy, you know? People really don't like it when they get copied, and because then that's called copying. Instead of like, I took inspo from you and I tagged you. Tag people, because you want to make friends. That's another thing I want to say. Make friends in the nail community. I couldn't even tell you how many friends on Instagram and now on YouTube. Like, make friends. I started out doing this because of Dricka's Dynamic and your Nail Plug X. This was, again, 5 years ago. I saw them on there and I was like, really liking nails. And I was like, you know what? I might just start doing this. I might start selling press-ons, and I made a page. I sent them things when I started making resin stuff. I'm still friends with them to this day. Like, make friends, because the more, then they'll repost you. You can repost them. It's all about helping each other, and that's how you get your name out there. But the biggest thing is post. You have to do it. You're shy, I get it. Post your work and keep posting your work and keep posting your work. Post reels. When you post a reel or when you post something, put that on your stories so people see it and they click on it. There's all kinds of things that you can do, but you just need to get your name out there and you need to make friends. It's like the number one thing. Also, wear your nails, because if you're out at the mall, you're at the movies, wherever, and you got cool ass nails on, trust me, people are going to be like, whoa, where'd you get your nails done? And you're going to be like, I did them. And I sell them. Would you like my card? You know, pass out your card. Get cards made. Pass them out. Drop them places. Don't feel dumb advertising for yourself. Don't do it. I know it's awkward at first. Like, you don't want to be like pushing yourselves in people's face, but especially online, do it. Start an Instagram. That's where I first started. I was just on Instagram for like a couple years. Instagram mainly. Get your work out there. Start posting. Try to make as quality content as possible. And make friends. And I would say that's like the most important thing, is just get your work out there. Because if nobody's seeing it, nobody's buying it, you know? All right, let's get into questions. Oh, and Shopify. So Shopify, you pay, that's what I use for my platform. I am not currently selling press-ons. But I use it for my nail stands. So Shopify, I think they have a couple different, I don't know anything about Etsy, so I can't help you there, but Shopify, I think you can either pay, I pay once a year. It's like $300 and something rather than every quarter or every month. I can't remember. It was more expensive in the long run to pay in like payments for the year rather than a whole year at a time. So I think like every September, they just take it out. The shipping for Shopify, they handle all of it. So like when I go to send out one of your guys' orders, I will click on your name. I will make sure, I am just paranoid. So when you enter all of your products, you put the weight of all of them. So you have to do that. You have to weigh all of your products, put that in there, weigh your packaging so that when the customer pays for the shipping, it should be like about the right price. I always make sure I will package up the order, I will weigh it, and then I will go in and print out their shipping label just to make sure that the weight is correct, because I am so scared that the weight's going to be wrong and my package is going to get shipped back or lost or something. So that's just what I do. But you go in and you print out your shipping label within there. So you can pick like USPS, FedEx, whatever you want to do. You pick that, press print. I have a shipping label printer. I don't use a regular printer. You can get these on Amazon. It's just like a little box, and you put in like the little shipping labels and it just prints out. It doesn't take ink or anything. So you don't have to buy ink for it. It literally just, you press print, the shipping label comes out, you stick it on your package. I take all the packages to the post office, and that's it. I do it all from here. Okay. I think that was all I wanted to cover with Shopify. I think there's a question about it in here about taxes and things like that. With the shipping, the customer, well, it's up to your choosing how you want to handle your shipping, but I have it so the customer pays for shipping, and then Shopify charges you for what you paid for the shipping, if that makes sense. Because like say you have shipping set at $7.99 for a certain weight. And when you do their package, it ends up being $6.99. So you pay $6.99. The customer already paid you, so you already have the customer's money. When you go, after you ship that and you buy that shipping label, then Shopify, like once a month, will charge you for all of that shipping per month, if that makes sense. Okay? Okay. All right, let's get into the questions. I don't think these are in order because they kind of get messed up, but I'm just going to start. So, first one, do you still sell press-ons? I kind of already covered this. Not at the moment. I've been making nail stands for 3 years now, and once those really started taking off, I got way too busy, and I was already making YouTube videos, so that takes up a lot of time. I make YouTube videos. I make content for all of my social medias. I make all of my nail stands by hand, and they all take days to make. I have to package them all up. The packaging takes forever. So I'm just very busy, very busy. I do not have time to make press-ons. The press-ons that I do make are for myself and for my YouTube videos and my content at the moment, sadly. But, okay. How do you price your sets? What's the best shop platform? So how do you price your sets? That is such a loaded question, honestly, because there's so many options for that. I had a hard time with that too, because everybody's different, but you want to go with what you want to make money. You don't want to be spending all this time on nails and just be squeaking by or paying to do them, quite frankly, because it's not cheap. So all the products you're going to need, not cheap. Like, all of these products are quite a bit of money. The nails themselves, soft gel nails, especially apres nails, not cheap. So you want to factor that all in there. And then my suggestion is to have like different tiers, kind of, you know? So like a basic, well, it depends on what you want to sell. If you just want to sell extravagant, crazy, charmed, 3D sculpted nails, then those are going to be expensive. Nails that might have gel polish, some stickers, and a top coat, not as expensive. My nails tended to be around $100, give or take. Some more than that, some less than that. If I had 2 hands of nails that were all 3D sculpted, hundreds of dollars, quite frankly, because it's the time. So you can kind of think in like, how much do you think you deserve an hour, and how long is it taking you to make those nails, and kind of factor that in. it's kind of hard to decide. Look around and see what other people are charging for the type of nails that you want to make and kind of go off of that, but you need to make sure that you are making money. Don't let people, they're press-ons, they shouldn't be that much. Girl, they quite frankly should be more because they're made from the same material if we're using soft gel nails. So same as Gel X that they're doing in the salon, same products, all the same products, same gel, art stuff, all that, same products, and they're reusable. So like I mentioned earlier, I believe, you go to the salon, you might get a couple fills, they're off, you never to be seen again, they're going in the garbage. They're filed off. These press-ons, girl, you can remove them and put them back on and put them back on and put them back on. So quite frankly, luxury press-ons that are done really well, I feel like should be more than a salon set. And that's just me. It's the reusable factor, and they take just as long to make. Just because we're not doing them on a person, we're doing them on a stand, there's not much of a difference other than you don't have somebody moving all the time, but like, they take a long time to make. So just be fair to yourself. Write down, just look around. Look around at what other people are charging. Know the type of nails that you want to make. Like handmade charms and 3D nails they should be expensive. Those take a long time. Like junk nails that just have charms and stuff on them, and the charms aren't that expensive, you can price that less. Like I said, stickers on nails, you can price that less if they're hand painted. There's just a lot to think about. So just start writing things down and time yourself when you're making a certain type of set and just kind of factor that into like, okay, I think I should get $30 an hour. Took me 4 hours to make this set. You know what I mean? Things like that. Pricing is a hard part. It is a hard part. Okay, in regards to more clientele, any tips to get more viewership and followers? So that also goes with just getting yourself out there and making friends. You will also learn that there's better days and better times to post. So like I used to post right away in the morning at like 6:30 in the morning, and if I didn't, nobody was seeing it. Now I typically post later in the afternoon around like 3:30, and more people seem to see it then. There's certain days that I feel like aren't as busy. Sundays are a great day. You just got to kind of play around and then just remember like, okay, Sundays really work for me. Mondays, it seems like aren't great. And again, always post whatever you're posting, repost that onto your stories. Always have stuff on your stories. That is a big thing. Do not let a day or an hour, if you're on vacation, I'm not trying to freak you out. You can let it go, but like on your stories, I find it very important to always keep up with always having something on my stories, because then people that are following you are always up there for them. People that click on your name, then they always see you and they click. And don't just post anything, make like interesting stuff so they want to look at it. And another thing that will make you will get way more views on your stories is if you do polls, things that people are going to message you about. Anything like that they really have to interact with your story really blows up your views for that story. What else? So for like actual like reels and posts and things like that, again, it's like you want to grab their attention right at the beginning. So if it's something that's like, I click on it and it's like really boring, or somebody's talking really slow and I'm just like, I am not going to sit through this. I'm just going to swipe. So you want to kind of grab somebody's attention right at the beginning, whether it's like a badass set of nails right away, or like a little saying that they have to swipe to see the rest, things like that. It's all about grabbing somebody's attention. The longer they stay on your post or your reel, the better, and the more Instagram or whatever platform you're on is going to push your content out. I hope this is helping. I'm trying to think of like any other tips. Again, like making friends on social media will repost your stuff, and especially if you reciprocate, if you repost other people's stuff, friends are great. I find that social media friends are way more involved and supporting you than like real life friends, you know? So like make friends, push your stuff out there, make interesting content, make it vibrant and cool to look at, and that's really helpful. Okay, will I need to get a tax ID if I sell with Shopify, for example? So with Shopify, you don't have to have one to start a Shopify, but if you're going to be running a business, yes, which you typically are if you're going to be selling on Shopify. So like every quarter I have to do quarterly taxes and things like that. So you definitely have to have a tax ID to file your quarterly taxes. Before I officially started my business, I went to the bank and I opened a business bank account, which to do that, you typically have to have like $2,000 to put in there to start it at this bank. Anyway, I think that's typical. I filed to get my business license with the state. I did everything to get my tax ID number, all that stuff. I took care of all of that before I actually started on Shopify. So I just think that's probably a smart way to go about it. Because yeah, if you are selling on a platform, you're going to have to do that stuff. So, and it's not that hard. I have an LLC and I would recommend that. And it is not hard to get at all. Like I am not that smart with all that stuff, taxes and everything. I really am not. I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't end up in prison. I don't know. Could happen. I don't know what I'm doing, but, what was I saying now? Oh, LLC. Then you are protected. If anything were to happen to your business, you're protected and they can't take from you, right? An LLC has lots of different aspects to it, but I just think that's a smart way to go, and it's very easy to just get an LLC. Again, I don't know a ton about all of this stuff, but I hope this is helping. Okay. How do you handle shipping? Do you print labels yourself or do you go to the post office? So I kind of already covered this a little bit. Shipping, again, yes, I use Shopify, so I do that all here. When you go to print from Shopify, your shipping labels, it's just handled. It's very easy. You literally just click on the person's order. I make sure that my weight is correct for that package. And then I print out their shipping label here on my little shipping label printer. Again, Amazon, type in like shipping label printer. And it will come up and you literally just have to have Bluetooth. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if you have to have Wi-Fi. I don't think so. I think it's just Bluetooth. I just connect it to my phone. Connect it to my phone or my iPad and you just go on here, boop, print, whoop, comes out. So easy. Slap it on there, take it to the post office. All right. Tips on how to size the nails when selling press-ons. We already answered that in the beginning. Sizing kit. Only way to go. Do that. Why are there streaks when wiping the cured top coat with isopropyl alcohol? Is this a regular top coat or a matte top coat? Because to be honest, I have never had that happen with a top coat. I have had that happen with a matte top coat, like not great matte top coats. I was mentioning that earlier, how the Function of X matte top coat is like smooth. There's no streaks, there's no lines. But there are some like older ones mainly. I think the newer ones are getting pretty good now, but that leave marks and lines from the brush. I don't know. Does anybody know? Can anybody else answer that? Streaks when wiping with alcohol. Wiping your top coat with alcohol. And I assume there wasn't streaks before you did that. For one, why are you wiping it with alcohol? Do you feel like you have to do that? Or are you using a top coat that doesn't have... Are you using a top coat that isn't non-wipe and you're having to wipe it? But even then, I don't know. I need a little more information, girl. Comment. Let me know. I need to know what top coat are you using? What kind is it? Is it a non-wipe? Is it a matte? Are you using... Is the brush like really rough that it's leaving streaks and maybe you're just not seeing it first? If anybody else knows an answer to this and it's happened to you, comment. I've just never had that happen, so I have no clue. But comment and let me know. I just need more information from you. Let me know. What kind of top coat are you using and stuff? Okay. Why do we buff the top of press-on nails? So I kind of went over this, but you're buffing the top of the nails, whether it's any soft gel nail, buff the top of them, because then everything you put on top is going to adhere to that nail. I once made my friend an entire, this was years ago, an entire set, and I had just gotten this. These I only use as nail art gels now. I do not use these on the whole nail. When it comes down to like a thicker, like potted gel, I don't use those on the whole nail for this reason. I did like multiple layers and stuff, and I don't think I buffed the nail first either, but her full, all the art, just a full sheet of it just popped off. She just started popping off all the nails. And I'm like, and my mom's, her set, same thing, because I did the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh. So for one, I had used a really thick art gel that it gets too hard and it just works its way and just pops off. Also, buffing the nail, if you don't buff it, things tend to just, I mentioned this, but when you put gel on, it kind of separates and it doesn't adhere to the nail. When you buff the top of the nail, it lets all of the gel that you put on top of it. Once you put that base coat of gel on there, everything else is going to stick to that gel. But that gel needs something to stick to. So just think of it this way, like a very shiny, slippery surface. If you're painting something on top of it, it doesn't have much to grip onto. If you rough it up a little bit with a buffer, now that product has something to grip onto underneath it, and it will stay on the nail. It will go on smoothly. It won't separate. That's why we buff the nail. I hope that helps. Okay, next, what nail tips do you recommend? So I went over what I recommend for business press-ons. If you're running a business, a Prey, because they all run very similar in sizing. If you're just doing it for funsies and you're making them for yourself, I love the Diami corn tips for long stilettos. I also love these ones. This is my favorite nail ever. The Miss Cheering XL Sculpted Square. You can get these on Shein and Ali. If they're back on there, they had kind of stopped selling them with the situation. But they are a complete dupe for the Apres Sean Legend nails, but I like these ones even better. They're a little bit more tapered. I love these, and they're so cheap. They're like $3 or something. I have 3 boxes of them, if that tells you anything. Love those. Another brand that you can get on Amazon is Tay. And we use these in the This or That video. I use these and the Diami corn tips and compared them, and you really can't, they're these. You really can't tell a difference. The Tays are like slightly, just the tiniest bit shorter, but you really can't even tell. And these ones, like I said, they're on Amazon. This brand is really, really good. So all of those, you really can't go wrong with all of those. If you were just making them for yourself, you don't really need to spend all that money on a Prey. I know they're not cheap. I am talking too much. So there's many other options. I love this brand for their stilettos. They look really nice. All right. Next, when applying them, what's the best glue to use? What do you prefer to use? So we went over this as well. I prefer the gel consistency glues. So whether it is the Iki brand, and again, I hope I should be able to, it's a lot of products. Hopefully I can link everything, but she has changed her bottle, but she sells this glue. It is a thick gel consistency, but it is air dry. And then this is the same kind of deal. Nail Pop is on AliExpress. Again, a gel consistency glue, but it's air dry. So they're nice and thick. They're not like a runny glue, and they last a long time. They're amazing. They kind of fill that little gap in between your natural nail and the press-on. It's like using gel, but it's an air dry glue. So highly recommend. All right, how to get better at sculpting 3D charms. Painting tiny eyes is hard and proportions are way off. So honestly, practice and watching other people. So like Crisania Neri does amazing 3D work. Practice. Just get some clays, some like the Crisania clays are really nice and easy to use. Get some of those, get her tools, and just start like looking at an idea of what you want to sculpt. So like get a picture of Hello Kitty, look at that, and just try to get those proportions down. The ears, the face. When it comes to painting like smaller things like eyes, I have always told you guys, start with the nose. Don't start with the eyes. Get your nose, so it's, because then you know the nose is right in the middle. So start with the nose. And then you know from there, like, okay, I can do this eye here. This eye is about this far away from the nose and the ear. And you kind of just go from that with your proportions and go with this one. You need like skinny little nail art brushes are going to be your friend, and a dotting tool. Honestly, you just have to practice. You just have to practice. It gets easier. I promise. Like, I started playing around with like 3D clay and stuff, and it is like a whole night and day difference from what I can do now, just within like a year. So if you just got to keep practicing and watching other people's videos, like watch people's YouTube videos. There's not a whole lot of 3D. That's kind of why I started doing YouTube, was because there kind of wasn't a lot of nail art that I wanted to see on YouTube yet. There's more now, but watch people, like I have videos making like 3D nail charms and 3D charms on nails, bows, Hello Kitty, all kinds of characters. Watch those videos and do it while you're watching. I think that's very helpful, but just practice. You just have to practice. And I know it's hard. It is hard at first. It's difficult because they're so tiny. I know. When is the next opening? I can't wait to get those gorgeous stands. Not a press-on. Well, kind of a press-on related comment, but honestly, it's going to be a bit because I'm almost done with my current orders, but I keep telling you guys I am going to take a break. It's not going to be like months long or anything, but your girl needs a break. Not from YouTube, I'll be on YouTube, but from like nail stands and like business-wise, I haven't had a break in like a year. I just need at least a couple weeks. I was going to take a month. At least a couple weeks, if not a little bit longer, to just get myself back on my schedule with going to the gym, getting settled in my house, and just being able to kind of relax a little bit. I need it. I just don't want to burn myself out. So I will update you guys as soon as I know, and I hate making you guys wait. It's like giving me anxiety. So I promise I'll let you know. It won't be like months away or anything, okay? Promise. All right, do you find that the nails shrink after curing if it's a really layered set? Yes. So if you are using like a thicker like builder gel on the nail or many layers, absolutely, because the thickness, it just kind of tightens and tightens and tightens every time you cure it. So if you know you're going to use like a builder gel or many layers, you might want to start with just moving the nail up one size. So it's just, if you're using a 2, use a 1 and just go from there, because yeah, it does shrink the nail a little bit because everything just kind of tightens up because there's so much on there. How to gain more clientele. As an introvert, I'm struggling with this. I feel like giving up. I know. I get you. And that really just comes down to everything that I mentioned a little bit ago with posting. And I know it's hard, but it should be easier if you don't have to post your face right away. You can post your nails, post your hands. You have to. That is the only way. That's the only way, is to get yourself out there, and social media has made that possible for us. Without social media, I don't know what we would be doing. Like, I don't know how you get people to your website. So use that. Use social media, make friends, and post your work. Post your work. Make it look nice. Make your content look nice. Consistency is a huge one. Don't post and then go MIA for a month. You have to post and post and post and post. I would say post like 4 times a week. Posting every day can almost go against you. I've seen it go against people sometimes. It can be too much. You just need to find what works for you. But consistency. I post on YouTube every Friday or Sunday. I've missed like 2 videos, I think, or something. I always post. On Instagram, I post it like 4 times a week or so. Consistency. Don't just stop and then come back and expect it to like pick up where you left off. It will not. It will go against you. So consistency. Even if you don't feel like doing it, post something. Post something and keep doing it. I know it's hard. Ideas to speed up the process. Should I get a higher power higher power UV LED lamp just for press-ons, budget recs? So speeding up the process, really, I would get a lamp that is higher powered for sure. And I will recommend one. I will recommend the Kiara Sky one that I use because I've had it for years and it works amazing. And then I will recommend one on Amazon that's cheaper than that, below it. Speeding up is really just doing it. And you will find ways to make things faster. So like, there's just certain steps that I do that I know, like I pick out everything I'm going to use beforehand. I have it all ready. I have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's going to take you forever. So have a plan of something mapped out that you want to do, whether you draw it up or whether you just know. Then grab all the products that you're going to use for those nails and get them out. Prep your nails, get them on the stand, start painting. You will get faster as you go. It just takes time. With anything, when you first start out, you're going to be slower at it. You just got to keep going. But like, the lamp isn't going to make the most deal unless it's a really shitty lamp and it's just not curing, but it's really just about making a plan and then sticking to that and getting everything ready so you're not having to like, oh shit, I need this, go over there and grab it, oh, I forgot this. Grab everything beforehand and have it ready. And that's like the biggest thing, is have everything by you, have enough room on your desk, clean up after you're done, keep everything organized, and have a nice clean work area so you can get done what you need to get done. You're not... My camera died on me. So, I don't know where I was yapping about, but I think I was just saying you need a nice clean work spot. Keep everything, or grab everything that you're going to need ahead of time. So you're not having to like dig through all your stuff in the middle of it, and you're not having to like... You need enough desk room that you can have everything. It's clean. That's going to make all the difference. If you're like fighting through like a bunch of crap all over your desk, it's going to make your job way slower. So clean your desk, keep everything organized, grab everything you need, and practice. That will help. All right, essentials for press-ons. Do I really need a rubber base coat or just a regular base coat? Again, yeah, I went through this. You don't need a base coat. No base coat. Don't need them. Don't buy them. You get soft gel, full cover nails, you buff the nail, you go in with your gel polish, yada yada. You don't need a base coat at all. All right, the Make N metallic ink won't adhere to all my non-wipe top coats and would repel. Why? So, I read this question beforehand. I have no clue because I tried it on 2 different non-wipe top coats and it didn't do that at all for me. So, I'll show you. I tried it with... Which ones? I tried it with 2 different ones. Let me see. Oh, I tried it with the Izemi non-wipe and Crisania's. So I tried it with 2. Focus. I tried it with these ones. They're both non-wipe. And it didn't repel at all. I went on, ow, I brushed it on. Okay, first, this person is talking about this product, the Make N like liquid silver mirror ink. It's a very liquidy like chrome. Really cool stuff, and it's very shiny. It's awesome. So I put each of those on, I cured it, and I just did a light little shoop, shoop, shoop of that stuff. And it air dries, and it didn't repel at all. It went on completely smooth. So I really am having a hard time answering this one for you. I don't know. Again, maybe comment and let me know what non-wipe top coat you're using. Are you maybe using a matte top coat? I mean, all of those are non-wipe, so I don't know. The only thing I can think of is, are you accidentally getting like oil on your nail, you're wiping off the non-wipe with like alcohol, because you don't need to do that. You can go right on with this. I don't know, because I can't replicate it. These went on perfectly fine and didn't repel whatsoever. So I really don't know. If you are on here, comment and let me know what top coat you're using and a little bit more information, and maybe I can help you. But the only thing I can think of is if there's somehow like, but if you're saying it's happening to all of them, I highly doubt it. But if there's like oil on the nail somehow, or, which that doesn't seem to be the case, but very weird, very spooky. I don't know. All right. I think this is the last question. Yeah, last question. Is it? Yeah, last question. All right, extra small to extra small nail tip Rex, please. So for extra small, Prey has all, they used to only have extra small square nails. Now they have extra short, or extra small, extra short in all of their shapes. Stiletto, square, coffin, all of it. They have extra short in all of those. So that is an option for extra short. If you want extra, I don't know about extra short, but I do know, or yeah, extra short. Chloe nails. I was thinking extra short for some reason. So for extra short, round, gel, full cover nails, Chloe nails, I will have that link. They're currently sold out, but that is the only place I know to get them. They are extra short round nails. That's the only shape that you can get. As like a extra short stiletto is not going to work. A square probably wouldn't work either. I think the only extra short, because it's going to be literally your nail. It's going to cover your nail. Would be a round nail, so that makes sense why she's only selling round. But that's the only place I've ever seen. She just came out with those, and they are extra short. So I will tag those in the, or I will link them in the info box. Like I said, I think they're sold out. I don't know. You can follow her on Instagram. Chloe, I think it's just Chloe Nails. Let me double check. Because then you can probably hear from her when she's getting more. It's by Chloe, CHLOENAILS on Instagram. So follow her, and I'm sure she'll give updates when she's getting more. But that's the only place I found them. I think that's it. Holy hell. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I hope that was helpful. I know that was a lot of information. I'm sure I forgot something or multiple things. If you have more questions, comment. Let me know. I'm here to help. Of course, there's more stuff. Like I said in the beginning, I think we could talk and talk and talk. Like there's always going to be more and more and more. But I hope this was like the basics to get you going. Products that you need, products that you might want. Tips, tricks, answering your questions. I hope that I got like everything answered for you guys. Hope it was helpful. So, I'm gonna go. I am starving to death and I need to wash my hair. As you can probably tell, it looks horrendous. So, I love you guys oh so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when I post. I love you guys, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye, guys.